everyone. Welcome to Crime in Court. This is the Menendez brothers' Path to Freedom, and I apologize that it's a little bit late, but we are going to be going over the um, the complaint from the family. This is the victim's family's motion to compel compliance with Marcy's Law. So we're going to go over that complaint that the family has against Hockman, the DA Nathan Hockman. Why can't I speak today? Sorry. Okay, so we're gonna go over that. I do want to apologize up front. I just haven't been feeling the greatest. Kind of needed a little break, and so especially with the Karen Reed trial underway, and how that takes a lot of time. And this is also time consuming doing this in the 1996 trial transcript read through. So I will get to that. I haven't stopped. I just needed a little pause. So apologies. I will get to that as soon as I can. So let's get started here with the Superior Court filing from the state of California. This is, like I said, victims' family members' motion to compel compliance with Marcy's Law. This is not very long. So um, it shouldn't be too uh, terrible to read through here. All right, so to the Honorable Michael Jessic, Judge presiding, and to the people of the state of California. So obviously this is coming from the defense. Introduction. A grotesque spectacle occurred last Friday in this court. This was the beginning of April. So the April 10th, it would have been. Or, well, no, actually, I don't know. I'm assuming that that's a Friday. It would not be. April 11th was the date of the proceeding where this happened, where they showed the photo of the crime scene and basically sent a elderly woman to the ER. And I still don't know how her health is doing. I think she was sent back to the hospital. I'm not sure if she's out again or, recovering what's going on. So, they really should pay for what they did to her, to Aunt Terry. All right, so a grotesque spectacle occurred in the last week. Without any evidence, or without, sorry, without any advance notice to the family members of victims Kitty and Jose Menendez, the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office gratuitously and needlessly displayed horrific and gruesome photographs of the 1989 deaths of their relatives. The victims' family members were shocked, sickened, and traumatized by the district attorney's callous act. This outrageous offense has had very real consequences. Terry Baralt, the 85-year-old sister of victim Jose Menendez, experienced such severe emotional distress from witnessing the lurid photographs that she was hospitalized shortly thereafter. As of the date of this motion, Ms. Baralt remains hospitalized. Instead of seeking justice, the district attorney victimized the victim's family members a second time. The entire district attorney's office, including District Attorney Nathan Hockman and Assistant Deputy District Attorney Habib Balian, owe the victim's family members an apology for their scandalous behavior. Moreover, the district attorney has made a mockery of the Victims' Bill of Rights, or Marcy's Law, which provides victims with the constitutional right to be treated with fairness and respect and to be free from intimidation, harassment, and abuse throughout the criminal justice proceedings, including post conviction proceedings. The district attorney was also obligated to provide the victim's family members with reasonable notice of its intent to use such inflammatory exhibits at last week's post conviction proceeding. It is self evident that the district attorney has violated the victim's family members' rights under Marcy's Law. The district attorney's behavior on April 11th constitutes an affront to the victims everywhere. District Attorney Hawkman and Assistant Head Deputy District Attorney Balian are obligated to treat all family members equally. Here, it is patently obvious that the district attorneys treated the victims' family members as second class victims due to a policy disagreement between District Attorney Hockman and the victims' family members. The district attorney represents all victims, not simply those that share the office's policy views. In the same token, Marcy's law provides constitutional rights to all crime victims. Due to the district attorney's inexcusable conduct, the victim's family members have no choice but to seek the intervention of this court to enforce their right under Marcy's law. By way of this motion, the victim's family members respectfully seek an order from the court admonishing the district attorney for its conduct in displaying the graphic photographs on April 11th, 2025, as this subjected the victim's family members to intimidation, harassment, and abuse, and requiring the district attorney to provide the victim's family members with advance notice of any exhibits or any other evidence it intends to introduce at any further post-conviction proceeding in this matter. So eventually that was agreed to, that they would give advance notice, and they did give like a half-ass apology. The legal standard. Marcy's Law amended Article 1, Section 28 of the California Constitution and provisions of the Penal Code to strengthen a broad spectrum of victims' rights. In particular, it guaranteed victims and their families a right to be treated with fairness and respect for his or her privacy and dignity, and to be free from intimidation, harassment, and abuse throughout the criminal and juvenile justice process. It further afforded victims a right to reasonable notice of all public proceedings, including delinquency proceedings upon request, at which the defendant and the prosecutor are entitled to be present, and of all parole and other post-conviction release proceedings, and to be present at all such proceedings. Additionally, Marcy's Law provides victims with the right to be heard upon request at any proceedings, including any delinquency proceedings involving a post-arrest release decision, plea, sentencing, post-conviction release decision, or any proceedings in which a right of the victim is at issue. So the victims, all the victims, and I skipped over it earlier, but these are the names of all the victims in the case. Their cousins, aunts, and all sorts of people related to the Vandermolen, to the Menendez and Anderson families, to Kitty and Jose's families. So the victims have a right to all of those things that we just read. Where did I leave off? So Marcy's Law clearly demands a broad interpretation protective of victims' rights. By its plain language, Marcy's Law applies to post-conviction proceedings such as resentencing requests. Marcy's Law established a victim's right to a prompt and final conclusion to post-judgment proceedings. Marcy's Law provides that a victim, his or her attorney or representative, may enforce the rights enumerated in Subdivision B, and that these rights are personally enforceable by victims. A court possesses the inherent authority to admonish counsel for failing to comply with their professional obligations, like they did at the hearing on the 11th, or for otherwise engaging in offensive courtroom behavior. Argument. The facts are straightforward and disturbing. On April 11th, 2025, the people, represented by Assistant Head Deputy District Attorney Habib Balian, suddenly and without any prior warning or consultation with the victim's family members, displayed several horrifically gruesome photographs depicting the 1989 deaths of Jose and Kitty Menendez. These photographs served no legitimate purpose and were instead clearly intended to inflame emotions to achieve maximum shock value. The district attorney's gambit did not succeed. The court denied the district attorney's office request to withdraw the resentencing motion regarding defendants Erik and Lyle Menendez. The victims' family members were present in the courtroom when the district attorney displayed these graphic images. They had been provided with no advance warning that these photographs would be used as exhibits at the April 11th hearing. The victims' family members were severely offended and disturbed by the photographs. In particular, Terry Baralt, the 85-year-old sister of victim Jose Menendez, experienced such severe emotional distress from witnessing the lurid photographs that she was hospitalized shortly thereafter. I believe it was Sunday morning. So the hearing was Friday. Sunday morning, she was in the hospital, found collapsed in her hotel room by family members. The district attorney's exhibit of these graphic photographs violated the victim's family members' right to be treated with fairness and respect for their privacy and dignity. It further constitutes intimidation, harassment, and abuse as the photographs were displayed without any prior consultation with the victim's family members. Under Marcy's law, which is to be interpreted broadly in favor of the victim's rights, the victim's family members had a right to reasonable notice of the district attorney's intent to introduce these graphic photographs. In order to prevent such a spectacle from occurring again, the victim's family members request that the district attorney provide them with advance notice of any exhibits or other evidence that the district attorney's office intends to introduce at any further post-conviction proceeding in this matter. Finally, the court should admonish the district attorney for its utter lack of consideration for the victim's family members by displaying these horrific photographs. Only a public admonishment will prevent the district attorney from again engaging in such callous theatrics at the expense of the real victims here, the family members of Kitty and Jose Menendez. For the foregoing reasons, the victims' family members respectfully request that this court enter an order admonishing the district attorney for its conduct in displaying the graphic photographs on April 11th, 2025, as this subjected the family members to intimidation, harassment, and abuse in violation of Marcy's law, and requiring that the district attorney provide victims' family members with advance notice of any exhibits or other evidence it intends to introduce at any further post-conviction proceeding. I'm not sure about the admonition if he received that, but he definitely was. They stipulated and said they agreed to giving advance notice in the future and blah blah blah. So that was how that was resolved. However, there's still more that needs to be resolved, and I have it. Where did I don't know what I did with it. I'll have to figure out what I did with it. But we have a very long motion to recuse Nathan Hochman, the DA's office. So I will read through that. I think it's like 180 pages long or something like that. So I will get to that in not in pieces, but for me, I have to do it. Like, I have to record these longer ones in pieces because of my hips and stuff. So, getting the time to sit down and do all of it is a challenge, but I will get to it shortly because on May 9th, which is just 9 days away, we will be having a hearing. They will be having a hearing in front of Judge Jessic to recuse this DA. And basically it's up to the DA or up to the judge as to whether he's going to recuse him or not. And I don't know yet if we've gotten any word from um, the attorney general if they was it the attorney general that they were supposed to send it to, or not the governor? It wasn't the governor, or the I thought it was the AG's office. Not the attorney general of the United States, but like of California, that they have to send it to. I want to say, and he can either respond and agree with it that yes, you should recuse the DA's office because there's some kind of conflict here, or he can say, I have no position, or he can, I think say no, but I don't think it ultimately it's still up to the judge anyway. So no matter what the AG says, it doesn't matter. So there you have it. I'm sorry that was a really quick one, and I'm sorry that it took me so long to get to, but we are back on track on Friday. I hope to have the next portion of Jamie Pisarcik's testimony. We kind of, apologies, I kind of cut off in the middle of her testimony, but we'll proceed with where we left off. I think we were still on direct too. I'm not sure, but we'll get there. Um, yeah, so that'll be I'll have that premiere on Friday. So we'll be back to our regular schedule this starting Friday of this week. So thank you guys for being patient with me. Thank you for your comments, likes, subscribes, all the YouTubey things that you guys do. I really, really appreciate it. And thank you guys so much for watching. And you guys on Rumble too. I always forget to shout out to you guys at Rumble. Thank you for watching. I forget about Rumble all the time, but I don't forget about you guys. You guys are awesome. I just forget to mention Rumble. So apologies on that. So thank you guys for watching, liking, subscribing, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye now.